time I've been around this truck, it's been a rush and getting dark, and so I really hadn't had time to give you guys a good look. But I posted a video the other day after we washed it, and it was actually still wet. And I mean, it's not perfect. There's a dent there in the bottom of the sleeper. Paint's coming off of it. But for a 68 model commercial vehicle, you have to admit this truck is in crazy good shape. And these old school pinstripes in the class of 68, that's old school stuff there. And it's all, you can tell it's brush painted. So that's really super cool. And inside, it's dirty. It has some pretty cool seats in it. And it's not bolted down. It has a limited amount of gauges in it. Lots of switches, extended switches. There's the turbo. And some rocker housings. There's a part of a drive line, push rods. There's the mirrors in the sleeper. And the sleeper interior doesn't look too terribly bad. Cool old steering wheel. It's sad that the foam is gone out of it, but the wheel it looks so cool. There's a view of the air unit, the rooftop air unit, and somebody's got a marker light on the front of it. Just stuff they did. The dual fans. I mean, really cool stuff. This is definitely an old school tractor. And it's really gonna make a cool project. It even has a cigarette lighter, and look, there is the cigarette lighter part of it. Not being politically correct at all, but you know, all that stuff used to be part of a vehicle. And this is a bunk heater. Some universal caps. There's two drive lines. That's cool. So the drive lines out of this truck does not have a transmission in it. It had tail light mud flat brackets on it. They're kind of been up and rusted up and stuff. It has an old school 4-spring spring rod rear suspension, which it probably rides like a horse and buggy. The tanks look good with dents in the top because people step on the tanks, and you're not supposed to step on a tank. And here's a couple of heads right here, and these heads look like Reman Cummins heads. And you guys that watch my channel remember that I have a 84 W9 that's got a big cam Cummins in it that's missing the heads. So these heads will probably go on that engine in that 84, because the bottom end of that engine was rebuilt, and it was wrapped up like a Christmas present. So I'm sure all that is good on it. So we'll take these heads and put on there. But this motor here, the guy I got it from said it was burned up. So, I mean, I really don't know what that means, but he was a diesel mechanic for 71 years. So, I mean, I'm sure the block is still good, But we have that cat motor that we're going to put in here, the 3406. And I like that motor because it's a powerhouse. It's the motor that I have in my 95 Kenworth. And I mean, I know a lot of you guys like Cummins motors, but I really like a cat motor. They're torquey, low RPM, and they make a lot of horsepower. So that's probably the motor we're going to put in here with a 15 speed. And you give me a second, I'll raise the hood on this thing and I'll let you see what's up underneath of it. Now I will say this, the hood on this thing raises so much better than the hood on my 95 W9. And I think it's because all the spring and cable mechanism that's supposed to be on there is on there, and it's not on the other truck. But so here's the motor, and one head's still on it. The other two heads y'all just saw in the bunk. It's got the generator on it still. I don't know, hadn't really looked that close, and it looks like the whole accessory drive is still on it. So it's definitely something that could be worked with later for some truck project, but it's probably gonna need a whole complete overhaul. We'll have to check and see if anything's happened to the block. If the block doesn't have any cracks or anything in it, then it's definitely good to put sleeves and pistons and do an overhaul on them. But it's not going to be what goes in this truck. Like I said, I want to make this truck. I love the classic look, but I want the truck to be a modern truck because I'm gonna work it. So we're gonna get a later model Air Ride Bud hub cutoff and put on here. We might stretch the wheelbase a touch and just make it a good drive and work truck. We'll do a chassis rebuild or whatever with all new airlines and brake chambers and all the things it takes to make a good reliable truck. And the frame will get painted, and these old trucks up till 84, I believe was the cutoff, were not required to have front brakes. And if you see here, this truck does not have front brakes on it. So it's definitely going to get a front axle swap with front brakes on it. And well, that's so cool. It's still got the markings, the stencil markings on it. And it was painted red at one time, like the truck. The motor's old school Cummins red, or new school Cummins red. The old school was a tan color. But I mean, it's just in really, really good shape, and it's gonna really make a cool truck. But like I said, this truck is gonna be pretty much a frame up build, and the frame will be painted. We're gonna put dual breather, newer Donaldson or some other, like the breathers that are on the 95, that style breather with dual breathers. It's gonna have I think I'm gonna put 6-inch pipes on it because that 1 inch bigger than stock sounds so much better. They're gonna be tall stacks with cut off flat. They call them stovepipes or whatever. And then everything's gonna get polished up nice and painted, and just gonna be a good looking work truck. I'll probably keep this style light on here, but they will be LED lights instead of the incandescents that's on there. So it'll look cool going down the road at night with the lights lit up. I like the style of the cab lights up there, and it had spotlights on it too. I like these cool little lights, but they're not really big. So I'm probably gonna put like a lollipop style LED light on it, because I like to be visible. But I do love them headlight visors, so we'll keep those on there. We're probably gonna ditch the shield there. I'm not a big fan of those, so that's probably gonna come off. But and we'll probably eliminate these reflectors. I eliminated them on my 95, but we'll clean up all the wiring and do whatever it takes to make it a good truck. So y'all hang tight, and we'll show you as we go.